driver, oh wow, I heard a ridiculous story of someone that told a new immigrant to pay her some money in order for her to teach her how to use Google Maps. Hello guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. I'm beyond excited to have you guys here once again. If you're new here, my name is Greater and I am a Nigerian currently living in Alberta, Canada as a permanent resident. So here I share gist on relocation, following research I make, and from my experience and other people's experiences. I'm not an immigration consultant, and I also share just gist about life and every other thing in between. I am happy to be here once again, and I hope you get to get something from today's video. This is actually the second time I'm doing this video. After talking for about 15 minutes, I discovered that it wasn't recording, and so we are here again to make the video. Let's get right into today's video. Today guys, I want to talk about how I've been able to navigate the transportation system here in Edmonton, Alberta as a new immigrant. You know, when you come to a new country, there are different things. There are so many things. In fact, in every aspect of life, things are just new. What it was back home is not what is prevalent here. Back home, the transportation system is mostly owned by private individuals. The government just have their own. Just in few states that you have government having a part in the transportation system, and there are those buses. Maybe they have few buses, and those buses do not go everywhere. But here, the transportation system is managed by the government. Here, they have different means of transportation. You can use Uber, you can use your private car, you can use lifts. Even if you use lifts where you get to share like a journey with some other person, you might have to still use the bus. And finally you have the bus transit system, which is managed exclusively by the government. You have the bus, you have the trains managed exclusively by provincial government, city. So yeah, that's how it is over here. Now, why am I making this video? I'm making this video because of a chat I had with an acquaintance that recently moved to Calgary, and I chatted her up after 1 week of landing in Calgary, and I was like, yo, how's it been and all of that. And she was like, after telling me how life has been with her, she was like, oh, I've been using Uber for the past 1 week and I've really been going out. And I was like, man, you really have money. Why has it been so? And she was like, oh, she's unable to navigate the bus system. She doesn't know how to use the bus. She has been expecting a friend of hers to come just show her around, maybe take the bus one time with her, and it's not been easy for her. And I was like, oh no, I know, yeah, it can be challenging, but it's not something that you cannot do. So I just sent her like screenshots of how to go about it using the app or using Google Maps, and I also sent her messages, and thankfully she sent me a message that, oh, she has been able to take the bus. That's why I said, okay, there might be people who are also in situations like this. Let me make a video on this issue. My very first point would be having to be mentally prepared and educational, if I can use that word, prepared as regards every aspect of a relocation. Just know the things that you know will pose challenge to you, and the first important thing would be knowing how to use Google Maps and Google. So let me start from the airport. After I landed, I reached out to another acquaintance who was in Red Deer, Alberta, to say, okay, I have just landed, I'm at the airport and all of that. After exchanging pleasantries, she was like, oh, I would advise that you change some money at the airport. I had some US dollars with me, and when you're being given the cash, tell them you want some coins so you're able to use that on buses, because I know that you would go out to get your bank account open, to get your SIM, to do other stuff as a new immigrant. Although I tried changing money at the airport, I couldn't. I don't know why I did not. So I would advise guys that it's I think I've come to discover that airport rate is kind of a bit better than the rate in town. They gave me a higher rate at the airport because I asked, but I didn't go ahead with it. I was doubting, self-doubting. I didn't go ahead with it. Then when I came to town, I decided to make the exchange. I discovered that the rate at the airport was better. So that's one thing I would advise, guys. And so when if you're able to get some cash change at the airport, try to get coins, because here you pay bus fare with coins. It costs $3.50, and you cannot pay with cash. Yeah, you can actually pay with cash, but you might know that when you pay with cash, the drivers are unable to give you change because they cannot put your hands in the box to start giving you change. So once you pay $5, your change is gone. Yeah, so that was the advice she gave me, and I would advise every other person who's looking at busing for the meantime before getting a car to do.
Guys, while in town, you can always go to a bank for them to change cash into coins for you. Yeah, I did numerous times. Give them cash, they gave me coins. That's it.
The next important thing I want to point out is learning how to use Google Maps. Yeah, even though as a new immigrant, if you have not turned around in a particular area for 20 minutes, you are not a new immigrant, trust me. But learning how to use Google Maps really helps. So when I got here, third day after landing, I needed to go out, and then thankfully my flatmates gave me some coins, the $3.50 to use for the fare. But I also still needed to know exactly where I was going to. She told me to download the bus transit app. Now for every province, every city, they have they have bus transit apps. So I downloaded that app, but I wasn't able to know the buses I'm supposed to take from my place of departure to my final destination. What I did was I just went to Google Maps and I put the address I was going to. What Google Maps does is that it gives you different alternatives: driving a car, using the bus, trekking, cycling, and maybe sharing a ride. Like I said, if you share a ride, you will still need to use the bus. Of course, the option I took was using the bus. And now when you choose the option of the bus, just on the top, you would see all the different symbols. When you choose the bus, click on the bus option, it will show you the first bus you are expected to take. It will show you the bus stop you should walk to. For me, I have a bus stop close to my house. So it just tells me walk 2 minutes to bus and to this also street, and you will take bus. It tells me the first bus I am supposed to take, tells me where to stop from that bus, tells me the next bus to take, the time the bus is coming, and how many minutes I'm going to wait for. Then it tells me the number of stops. Google Map will tell you the number of stops you have to take, you have to ride for each bus you take. Maybe if I'm to take 3 buses to my destination, it tells me where to get off from the second bus and where to take the third bus, if it's just to change or to walk to another place to take the third bus. Then also where to get off. So sometimes it will say walk south, walk north. That's where the confusion comes, like which side is south now, which side is north. But what I do, I just follow there's an icon, like when you're walking, there's an icon that just keeps following the lines mapped out on the map, and so I follow that. If I'm going the wrong direction, it just moves away from the route I'm supposed to take. And that's one good thing about Google Maps, even though sometimes it can still be confusing. As regards knowing the buses to take, trust me, that is not confusing. It's as simple as ABC. Trust me, you just have to put your mind. This leads me to my next point, guys. In the buses, they actually have like a radio system that calls out each stop before the bus arrives at the stop. Let's say if the stop is like about 5 miles away, to say 224th Street, 27th Avenue. Then another bus stop, 227th Street, 27th Avenue. Now you know that you're going to 130 something street until it's close to that place. So most times I listen to the radio system, and I also look at my map to know exactly, just to have an idea of exactly where I'm getting off and where we are and how many stops we have left. On few occasions, you might get into a bus that the radio system is not on. There are 2 things I would do in such situation. Either I go to the driver to say, please, I'm trying to get off at this stop, and the radio isn't working. I don't really know exactly where we are. Could you help me? Or the second thing I would do would be to follow the Google Maps. I would say, guys, take advantage of using Google. Google is your friend. There is nothing, no question you want that Google will not help you. Even if we all know that. So let me just quickly share this story. If you laugh at me, call me crazy. I don't mind. No one knows it all. The very first time I took a bus here, I knew that people were requesting for stops. But you know, my face, I was in front and I was just looking ahead. So I didn't know what they were using to request for a stop. Unlike in my home country where you shout, "Oh wow!" If the driver does not hear you, people in front will help you re-echo it. Driver, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow, let you. So something like that. And I knew I couldn't shout, "Oh wow." What I did was I kept looking around, but it just wasn't clicking that this is what I was supposed to do. Back home, I take small buses. So what I did was I just quickly went to Google to say, how do you request for stop in a bus in Edmonton? And Google just told me what to do. And I looked around and I saw that there was actually a code I was supposed to just draw. And it tells the driver that a stop has been requested. So if you like that and call me GDC, I don't mind though. Google, use Google. Google will help you. You can also get to ask questions. My flatmate, though she doesn't use the bus, but she was able to tell me that, okay, I think this is how it works. But she wasn't really conversant. Even other people I asked, because they don't use the bus, they drive. I still went back to using Google. So try as much as possible, and it is free. I heard a ridiculous story of someone that told a new immigrant to pay her some money in order for her to teach her how to use Google Maps. I'm like, is that for real? Like, you're kidding me, right? And it was a true story. Very a true and unfortunate story. So the next point, guys, would be how to pay for your bus fare. So as a new immigrant, of course, for the first few days, maybe first 2 weeks, you might not be able to get a bus pass. You might just want to still settle for paying the coin. So bus fare costs $3.50. Now you pay that $3.50, you already have your coins, you pay it, and the driver gives you a ticket, like a pass that you would use for other buses. Let's say you're going somewhere and your destination requires you to take 3 public buses. So you pay for the first one, the driver gives you a paper ticket, and when you're getting on the second bus, you show that paper ticket to the next bus driver, and you keep going like that until your 1 hour 30 minutes expires. Then if you're still on the road, you will still have to pay. However, there are other types of bus passes. We have the monthly bus pass, which I use. That one is unlimited. It costs about $110, but I get mine at a discounted rate because I'm a new immigrant. That one, I just stick it to the back of my phone and I show to the driver each time I get to enter any bus. It's unlimited. I also use it for the train. We also have the ARC card. It's a card where you go, you put some money in, and then there is like a machine that you just tap it against and it deducts the fare for that trip. That's another one. And then we have tickets, like paper tickets that you buy and then you tear off. Like if you're taking a bus, you tear off one, put in the driver cash box, and the driver gives you a pass ticket in replacement for that ticket you just put in, and then is that pass ticket you would show to other drivers until your 1 hour 30 minutes also expires. So the ticket and the coin basically work the same way, just that for the ticket you just buy, you can buy about 10 or 20 if you don't go out often, and say, okay, for each time I want to go out I will use this ticket to get the bus pass. The next point would be, guys, having to get to the bus stop, where you'll be taking the bus from at an early time. Like they would usually advise 5 minutes early, 5 minutes before the bus arrival time. This one advice I would give to every new immigrant because although I know that sometimes it's really not feasible, but buses come early. Like if a bus is scheduled for 6 p.m., if the bus might come earlier than 6 p.m., especially if it's not a transit center. If it's at a transit center, they take off from that transit center at the exact scheduled time. But if it's just on the road, a bus might arrive at a particular bus stop like 3 minutes or 5 minutes before the scheduled time, and that does not mean they would wait. They pick whatever passenger they find there and they leave. If there is no passenger at the bus stop, they just drive by, they don't stop. Guys, when they say Canada will humble you, it will humble you. I can't count the number of times I've had to run after a bus. Like, most times I tell myself, you know what, if the bus wants to go, let it go, I don't care. Guys, it's not just brisk running or brisk walking. You send both kind of running, and I am not exaggerating. Or is it when you're approaching a transit center, you know that you have a connecting bus that leaves very soon, and once that bus leaves, you're running late to wherever you're going to, and once your bus gets there, the door is open, you dash out running after the bus, and sometimes the driver is looking at you and driving off. I'm like, come on, have the fear of God. So guys, that is one thing I'd advise: always be there 5 minutes before the scheduled time. Is very important. This leads me to my last point, guys, which will be having a car here, especially in Edmonton, is a necessity and not a luxury. I know in Ontario, especially in Toronto, people have said that the transit system there is way better than what we have in Edmonton. I really cannot tell because I've not experienced life there. But here in Edmonton, sometimes the schedule is like 30 minutes, 25 minutes, depending on the area, depending on how popular the bus is. There are some buses that are scheduled for every 15 minutes on busy days. Weekends, the schedule gets longer. Here, weekends, like on Sunday here, the bus time is like in the morning, the bus time is like every 1 hour until about noontime, when it now changes to like 30 minutes. Then at night again, every 1 hour. So when you miss one, you have to wait for 1 hour. You know what it's like. So most times I want to do my grocery shopping from different stores because of the difference in prices, and I'll have to jump from one bus to the other and carrying the load. Sometimes I'll have to use different days to go grocery shopping because I do not want to stress myself too much. And you can imagine for a single person how it's like difficult for me. I have an appointment because I know that from my house to the appointment is quite far by bus. I am discouraged. I don't want to go. Having a family, you want to go out, you want to navigate the city, your new city, carrying your children about, using a bus. Guys, trust me, it's not easy. Having a car here is a must, is a necessity. So I'd advise that if you're a family and you're planning on landing anytime, plan to get a car as soon as you arrive. It's very important. Maybe after 1 week, because even for that very first week that you'll be going from place to place, going to register your social insurance number, to get a SIM card, to get a bank account open. If you don't have who will do that for you, you would have to settle for Uber. And trust me, that thing is not expensive because you can't be running around. If you have little ones, you can't leave them at home and you can't be running around with them to catch the bus. So I would say having a car is a necessity here, guys. Trust me, it's a necessity for a single person like me and also for a family of whatsoever number. I can't count the number of times people have said, Greta, go get a car. Even if it's a small one, I'm like, yo, calm down, you give me the money. So guys, thank you so very much for watching this video. I hope this video will be of help to as many as possible, especially for new immigrants. I understand that life in a new place is not easy. I look forward to having a video on cultural shock. I'm just trying to put things together because trust me, being in a new city, new environment, new country, not just a new city in your home country, a new country is very different. Like the culture difference, everything, having to navigate your way through everything. I know it's not easy, so as much as possible I try to put out videos out there to talk about how life has been in different areas here in this new country. And before you go, please do not forget to subscribe, to like, to share also. Particularly subscribe and like to help me with YouTube algorithm. Let's keep growing this channel to just encourage me more. Like in times where I talk for 20 minutes and it wasn't recording, The fact that I have subscribers that will still watch me, that are waiting to watch me, keeps me going and gives me the courage to redo that video. Thank you guys. Until the next time, hasta la vista, salut, au revoir.